Hey guys, I'm Jackie Brubaker, host of the Love You Even More podcast. I'm an author, marriage and family therapist in training, performer, and 2-time Emmy Award winner. Each week, I bring on people from all walks of life to talk to them about their inspiring stories in the fields of self-development, relationships, business, and how you can love yourself even more. For more about me and the podcast, visit us at loveyouevenmore.com. Hey guys, I'm Jackie, your host of the Love You Even More podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about being the villain in someone else's story. Yep, that's right. I wore red for just this occasion. So we're all the villain in someone else's story. And we may never hear that story, or we may actually hear that story from their mouth or their flying monkeys' mouths. But somewhere along the line, you've definitely pissed someone off or triggered all of their wounding, and they have decided that it's your fault completely for everything and have decided that they don't want to take any responsibility. Now, mind you, we're not unguilty of this because we've all made someone else the villain of our story, right? They did this to me. They were a horrible partner. We followed. They're this. Now, let's just for 1 second, just reel it back in and remember that we need to take responsibility for our role in, let's just call it what it is, the relationship of whatever kind of relationship it was, whether it was romantic, familial, a friendship, a work relationship. It doesn't matter. We need to see where we can show up and take some responsibility. And sometimes it's really tough to do that because perhaps the person is horrible. There are terrible people out there that do terrible things. And sometimes we are legitimately victimized, and that's okay. But when I think about my circumstances where I have felt that I was victimized, I always can find my role in that. And typically, the role that I played was someone who was too understanding or too nurturing or too compassionate, too empathetic. And so now, when I come across people like that, I immediately see where I'm being triggered so that it doesn't happen again. But going back to being the victim in someone else's story that we get to play a part we didn't want to play and didn't ask for, didn't audition for, how can we let that go? Especially when we have no control over the narrative that they're creating. This person can be creating lies about what happened or simply just have their own perspective, which may be close to reality or completely not close to reality. But we don't have a choice or any kind of control in the matter. So how can we take control for ourselves? Because when we're dealing with others that we dislike, all we have control of is ourselves and our own actions, right? Okay, we know this. So I want you, because I just want to say this one more thing too. It's not like we can just be like, oh, whatever. I don't care what they think. They can say whatever. Like if you're past the pain, which I'm assuming if you're listening to this episode, you're probably not. If you're past the pain, then you can be like, yeah, sure. Like, I really don't care. And that's where you're going to. That's where you're trying to get to. And let me tell you, it's a beautiful place to be. It's almost incredibly empowering to be there because you're like, no, I really do see my part. I see what the relationship was and I've let it go completely. And I feel great. Like they can say what they want, but I know who I am. And that's what we're striving for. We're going towards that beacon of light. But it's really difficult when it's in the beginning stages of feeling like they're saying stuff that isn't true. They're making you into someone that you're not. But the truth of the matter is they may actually see you as that person, and that's none of your business. And that is none of your doing. Unless you've been a horrible human being. But again, take responsibility. Really look at yourself and be like, was I a horrible human being? Maybe. So just, we got to take our responsibility and we have to understand our role here because it's not just always one way. It really isn't. There are times where it is in abusive situations. And if you're coming out of that, I am sending love and peace to you because I've been there and it's awful. There is the other side, and you're getting there. But in the meantime, I want you to just understand that this person most likely is making these things up because they can't accept their responsibility for the role that they played, right? It goes both ways. It's so interesting how it just mirrors how we need to take responsibility for our role, which could just be as simple as, you know what? I stayed with someone I knew wasn't right for me. And I kept trying, and I kept giving love and support and empathy, and it just never made a difference. I wish I had just left sooner, you know? And now they're bashing me to everyone they know and making up all these lies. And I just have to sit here and like not say anything. Well, yeah, you do. You have to sit there and not say anything to their people because that's their people. And those people are never going to probably be on your side. Although I will say this. Once in a blue moon, you will get a best friend who's like, "No, I'm on your side, girl. I totally saw what happened there. You were just, yeah, no, I'm on your side." And that happened to me. It was really great. But that doesn't usually happen. But you have to just allow them to say their shit to their friends and family. That's it. Because there's two things that are going to happen. The people that are closest to them, they know who this person is. They do. Even if they love this person, they know who they are because you're not the first person that they've acted like this to. You're not the first person that they've said these exact same things about. Typically, this person probably has a pattern of saying, "This is what happened to me." Again, that's that person's issue. Now, if it's your issue and you keep choosing the same person, again, that's part of your role that you get to take responsibility for and thus change so you don't choose that person anymore. We're not choosing bad people, guys. We're choosing good, healthy people, and we are being good, healthy people in return, right? See, it goes both ways. So those people that love that person, they're just going to be in denial. They're going to be in denial, and they're going to support them, and they're going to be like, "Wow, she really seemed great, but maybe she wasn't." And you know what? Let them get confused. Let them get manipulated. It's fine. And then the other people in their life might actually be like, "I don't know. This seems to be a trend. Maybe it's you." Maybe it's not her or him. So again, this isn't about rewriting the story. Again, this isn't about rewriting the story or making sure that everybody knows the truth of the matter. This is about letting them run out of gas and letting them say what they want to say and believe what they want to believe, and you completely removing yourself from that narrative because it's not yours and it's not your job to fix them or to fix the narrative or to stand up for what you believe in. There are very few cases where you need to do that. I'm going to give one example that I actually did, and I never named the name of the person, by the way. I put out a Me Too article, and I never named the person because it wasn't about naming him and justifying and running him through the mud. It was about me just being able to tell my truth and get that off my chest and standing up for other women and men who have been through abuse. And that's why I did it. It was never to hurt the other person. He's in enough pain. So when you think of it that way, like if you need to tell your truth, which you should, to the people that love you and the people that care about you, you need to talk about it. You need to get it out of you. You need to do therapy and go to somatic work and do all of the things. But what you really don't need to do is try to compete with his or her story. Their story is not going to be your story, and your story is your story. So leave it where it needs to be with your people that care about you, that believe you, because that's what you're going to need. You're going to need people who believe you because most likely you're feeling manipulated, confused, and then this person that you thought you loved is telling this horrible story about you, and you're like, "But that's not who I am at all. Like, I've never shown any of those traits." Like, but it's fine because you do get to the other side. with that big light that is just, you're good. You understand who they are, and you understand who you are, and you understand what happened, and you let it go. And then you're just like, sure, you can tell your story. I know who I am, and my people know who I am. And most likely, people who keep being victimized, like they're always the victim, and this person took advantage of me, or whatever their story is, will always tell the same story no matter who the person is they choose. But they usually choose really nice people. Yes, I am describing narcissists. If you thought I was, you're right. I am. It's true. Because usually it's narcissists who leave you in a really bad place and start, slandering your name. So allow yourself to be the villain in someone else's story, no matter how painful it is. You've got to just keep that beacon of hope and light in your mind that you're going to come through this, and eventually you won't care what they say, because most likely they have already found someone else to hate. So just know that it will be short-lived, and it's okay if a few people, think some lies about you. People will make up their own minds. It depends on how much denial they're in, depends on who they are to that person, but they will make up their own minds. And if you're of this mindset, one day when you go to the other side and you get to find out all the truths, maybe they have changed their mind. Who knows? It's not even about that. It's not about that. It's just about letting yourself have the power to be empowered, to let them just say what they want to say, and being like, yeah, you know what? I understand why you might think that, or why you would have made that up, because of A, B, and C. And that depends on the person. But guys, just allow yourself to be the villain in someone else's story for a little while, because it's not forever. It's a temporary thing. And you know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, this would be a good time to start going and figuring out who you are. And please, before you just want to blame everything on them, take a look at your own role in this. Even if it was just, wow, I knew better. I felt that this was off. I should have left earlier. That's okay. Just, forgive yourself. Just forgive yourself and keep moving forward in your healing, because eventually you'll be on the other side and you're going to feel really neutral about the whole thing. I'm not saying you won't have moments, but you're going to feel really neutral, and it's going to feel great. And then you just won't care. You legitimately won't care. All right, guys, that's the podcast. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week.